What's going on, guys? Niko here, and in this video, I'm going to be sharing with you the one chord type that Illenium has down pat. Illenium uses the chord over and over again in his music, and it sounds like this. So Illenium knows how to use the cluster chord. So by the end of this video, you are going to walk away with knowing two different strategies that you can use to not just create these cluster chords, but also use them in the melody creation process, as well as the chord progression voicing process. So make sure you watch till the very end so you get all the information. And with that being said, let's get started. Quick announcement, I'm giving away a free piano lesson. So if you want to work with me one-on-one, comment down below piano mastery, and I'll be selecting one winner every Friday to work with me in a piano lesson. Additionally, if you're a music producer, check out the MIDI packs down below. I have the Illenium chord progression MIDI pack. It's all in the description. It's all completely free. So with that being said, let's get to the piano part now and break down the cluster chord. All right, so first I'm going to break down how to construct a major and minor cluster chord. So the first thing I want to do, I'm going to play in the key of C, find my C here, and use the chord strategy, the one. So I count one semitone here, I count one semitone and play the next note, and then I count two semitones or two notes. So I use the 1-1-2 strategy, and all these strategies are listed in the Piano Cheat Codes PDF down below. Absolutely a free download and gives you the chord construction. Now, this is how you create a cluster chord. Now you can do this with any major chord, and it's normally going to sound good. Now, I will say one other thing. Sometimes you guys want to play sus4 chords, and sus4 chords sound good. I'm a bigger fan of sus2 chords because normally in each key they sound good and there's not any complications to them. But a cluster chord doesn't just have to be these four notes that I'm playing. A major cluster chord, you could take a major, a sus2, a sus4 C chord, and add that third from the major. And it creates a different type of vibe with the cluster chord. This is cluster chord, the one that's actually written. And this is a kind of a variation of it, right? And the higher up you play on the piano, the more you can get away with bunching these notes together. Like if I play up here, I can play all five notes together at the same time and it's not going to sound that bad. Whereas down here, where I don't know if you could see it, it sounds bad. It doesn't sound good. So again, the higher up on the piano, you can close more notes together. But down here, you don't want to be clustering notes. You want to spread them out. Power octaves, octaves by far the best to play. Now, that's how you construct a major chord. Now, a minor cluster chord is really not that much different, except we're using the 1-0-3 strategy. So if we know we're playing an A minor chord, I have my A minor, I count up one note. So here we go, 1, boom, and then 0. So it's an A minor, and then 1, 2, 3. Right, and this is a minor cluster chord. Now, the reason why I say Illenium has mastered these chords is because those big supersaw chords, his chord voicings is taking advantage of this exact cluster and sus chord. And a lot of times, I don't even think they know it's a cluster chord per se, but they know that they're adding sus elements into it, sus2 and sus4. I'm sure Illenium knows that he's doing that. But what's great about these chords is that when you spread them out, you create the really unique chord voicings that a lot of us are trying to go for, but struggle to figure out where to go. Now, I'm going to take this example of the Illenium chord progression. Now, I played all of the songs. You'll see all the songs posted on my Spotify and everywhere else. This chord progression was used in, I think, 60% of his songs. So almost every other song, if not more than every other song, used this chord progression, the A minor, F, C, and G. But the reason why it had such an emotional impact and Illenium makes such an emotional impact with his listeners, obviously the lyrics are good, the vocals are very good, but it takes two to tango, right? So you need the chords and the melody to work together in conjunction, and he does that phenomenally. He's fantastic at doing this. So what he's doing is he's taking, for example, the A minor chord, he's adding a sus component, and then he's jumping these notes around. So you may take the B and jump it up an octave. He may take the E and jump it up an octave. Or he may say, let me add the cluster chord up here, and then down here I'll play a power octave. Or even better, he's like, okay, I have this block chord, an A, E, C, and E. I'll bring this down, And since we don't like to cluster notes on lower on the piano because the frequencies collide worse, let's jump this C up an octave. And there's definitely one song, I think it's called Let You Go, where what he does is, all he does is play these block chords, but he takes the third and jumps them up an octave, so it sounds like this. I think you can see all the way down there. Point is, the way he's spreading out these chords, it's fantastic, and really just takes some experimentation on your end. So that was a minor one, right? So we took, we could take the same chord, we can invert the chord, we can take the bottom, jump it up. So now we take the A and jump this up, take the B and jump it up, take the C and jump it up, sounds very eerie. I don't know if this sounds really beautiful. Take the E and jump it up. All right, so that's a popular, minor cluster chord like thing that you can do. Now let's jump into a major chord, breaking and pulling that apart. Now I showed you how to create it, but let's talk about the voicings about it. So the cluster chord, the F major cluster chord is just an F, and we use our strategy. Let's take the G and the A and jump it up. So again, I'm just taking these notes and spreading them up the piano. It's just some experimentation. So we have these notes. Again, this is a sus2 F chord, so I take the G and jump it up an octave. Perfect. That sounds really cool. So again, I could take, these three notes, the G, the A, and the C, jump the G up an octave. Now this sounds like an introduction to an ILLENIUM song, right? Because I've played through songs, I know what they sound like. Guys, it's just taking these cluster chords and spreading them apart and experimenting with them. And then from there, what you can also do is you can construct melodies from these cluster chords, and you'll see what I mean in a second. So let's say I have the F major chord, right? And I'm using these four notes. Now what I can do is I can jump the F and the G up an octave, so it'll be like this. Doesn't sound great for the other ones, but when I was playing the F chord, so what these cluster chords allow us to do is we can start creating melodies with them as well, because what we're doing is we're just messing around here. And guys, it's not that hard. Like, I know maybe you don't even know how to play piano, but you can just put your hand here, it may feel a little awkward, and just hit a couple notes. Play your left hand at the same time, and you're going to create something probably that sounds okay, because again, we're taking the cluster chord, we're breaking it across, we're writing melodies with it, we are spreading it out for nice big chords. This is what this is, guys. It's not rocket science, it's scientific, and when you break down the science, experiment a little bit, and you'll come up with something that sounds good. So that concludes this video. You now know how to create major and minor cluster chords, you know how to spread them out across the piano, and you know how to start getting some melody ideas using a little bit of a melody starter based off of inverting the cluster chord, octave jumping the cluster chord, and just moving your hands around and having something that kind of will just come to you. And this is a strategy that if you're starting to write melodies, take the chord and just mess around with it. That's all you have to do. So with that being said, that concludes this video. I hope you found some value out of it. If you did, please like, comment, subscribe down below. Leave me a comment of what you thought and what else you guys are trying to learn. I'm trying to put as much value into this channel as possible and give as much away. Additionally, I have all the free downloads down below, the MIDI packs, the piano cheat codes, and also comment down below Piano Mastery if you want to have a chance to work with me one-on-one for absolutely free, and ask me any more questions on your compositions, your melodies, or anything else that you are working on. That being said, thank you so much for watching this video, and I will see you next time.